The sexualisation thesis refers to the ways in which women, as victims and offenders, are processed by the criminal justice system. It refers to the notion that when the criminal justice system and its agents deal with women and girls, it does so on the basis of certain gender-related criteria, or on perceived norms around appropriate femininity. In this way, what is labelled as criminal or deviant and who is a valid victim depends to a large extent upon the perceived sexual behaviour and social status of the woman or girl in question. This idea originally stems from the work of Mida Chesney-Lind, who was looking at the experience of young girls in the juvenile justice system. Now, Mida was writing in the 1980s, but her work was a historical analysis of juvenile justice records stemming back to the 1930s. Now, what she found when she looked at those records and compared them to that of boys and men from around the same time is that girls were far more likely to be picked up, firstly, for what was known as status offences. Now, a status offence is an offence that is only a crime if you're a juvenile. An example of this is running away from home. So girls were much more likely to be criminalised for running away from home than were boys and men. A second significant difference was that she found that girls and women were far more likely to be criminalised for their sexual behaviour than were boys and men. This meant that the criminal justice system took a specific focus to perceived immoral or promiscuous behaviour from girls and young women. Now, this was particularly evident when Mida was reviewing the files and found that a significant number of these girls had been subject to vaginal examinations as part of their experience in the criminal justice system, which shows just how concerned these agents were with the sexual behaviour of these girls. So according to Mida and many other feminist criminologists, this demonstrated that there was at least a historical double standard in morality and power when it came to the ways that girls and women were criminalised for behaviour that men and boys were not. And we certainly see, looking back at the history of the criminal justice system, that many sex-specific types of offences that applied more to women than they did to men were focused on women's sexuality and sexual behaviour.